Здравейте на всички, аз съм Хантер и добре дошли в 117 епизод в поредицата на Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Пожелавам ви приятно гледане. Така, продължавам откъдето бяхме стигнали. Какво стана за последно? Правихме нещо и с флешмаркета. И това беше. Въпросът е какво мислехме да правим. Трябваше да се върнем до Некоса да говорим с Таргона и другите ни съюзници, за да намерим Еко в Дескари. Това се спомням. Трябва да се върнем, за да реснем, за да можем да репортираме тук, да вземем лут. Трябваше да оставим Оришел, за да може да влезем в 10,000 Delights. Още какво? Може би трябваше да бием този тук, защото Ненио искаше неговата маска. Аз обаче реших тогава да не го биеме. Дали да фанаме да го трепаме този тип? Някакви гладиатори има той. Обаче мога да прецакаме някакъв друг квест с тия гладиатори. Те щяха да ни дадат някакъв квест да купиме гладиатори. За този Годин беше заловил братът на Сосиел, доколкото разбираме. Все още имам някакви бъфове, затова се чува дали да не го подпочнем. Още от сега, ама не. Нека да направим първо други работи. То друго, какво да правим тук всъщност? С Кристоф говорихме. Мисля, че най-правилният ни ход сега е... също така трябваше да се върнем в The Slums. Се сещам аз. Трябваше да се върнем в The Slums, за да говорим с Red Face или Red Mask. Нещо такова. Добре, айде първо отиваме към Slums. Също така трябва да помислим за артефактите в този пазар, защото имаше много интересни неща, които можеше да си купим. Обаче, понеже аз гледам така да спестявам от голода, че не се знае напред какво ще има. Но тук имаше много хубави неща, имаше много хубав став, доколкото спомням. Имаше още някакви неща. Имаше още някакви неща, които си бях харесал. Всичките доста скъпи в интерес на истината. Трябваше да погледна дали имаме нещо за продаване. Всъщност, аз мисля, че може би трейднахме наляво и надясно. Bad Luck Tavern, точно тук трябва да дойдем ние. Така. Не сме сам. Това е? Някакви брадови. Добре. Лушинира гест. Тук някъде беше. Red Mask. Ето. The woman in the red mask grimly examines a cloudy glass and its equally cloudy contents. She doesn't seem to notice you, but when the silence drags on, she grinds out, "Get lost, I'm not looking for drinking companions." Who are you? Sneering, the masked woman hisses through clenched teeth. It's none of your business. I'm Red Mask, and that should be enough for you. Why did you send assassins after ЛАТВЕРК? The woman smiles bitterly and removes her mask, revealing the unmistakable features of an Aasimar. But what once was surely a beautiful face has been disfigured by terrible scars. Someone must have flayed her, carving away entire portions of her skin. That wretch deserves the worst death imaginable. When the demons abducted and enslaved me, ЛАТВЕРК bought me and my fellow captives. I thought myself saved, but I was wrong. The worst was yet to come. The things he did to us, I cannot describe them. He destroyed our bodies and our souls. His sick mind is full of filthy, perverse desires, and he acted them out on us. It was a miracle I managed to escape. I could have left the abyss, but it feels as if ЛАТВЕРК has sown the seeds of his madness in my soul. I refuse to spread his sickness to other places. happier places. Let his evil perish here in the abyss utterly and without a trace. The hand's voice trembles with barely concealed anger. She does not lie. Her heart aches with desire of retribution. ЛАТВЕРК is a liar and a traitor, and he must answer for his misdeeds. Champion, we must go back and see that he faces justice for his crimes. Amber's eyes fill with tears. It's terrible. What did he do to you? The woman flashes a cynical grin. I'm not pretty enough for you? Are you afraid? Yes. I'll never be called a beauty again. No, it's not about beauty or anything else he stole from you. I'm scared of what he's given you. He shared his pain with you and it took root and grew. There is a thorny tangle of suffering in your heart, and you are impaled on its spikes. Why is ЛАТВЕРК doing this? Because he's a madman, a blood-soaked lunatic trapped in the remnant of a holy savior, a psychopath, a filthy deviant whose sick desires can only be stated by the suffering of his victims. Да, усещах, че може да има такъв обрат. What happened to you after you escaped? I have walked the path of vengeance since then. Calistria, patron goddess of all who have been wronged, has shown me I must dedicate myself to this path. I am the retribution that stalks villains in the night, paints the darkness red, and makes the streets ring with their pitiful screams as I end their miserable lives. ЛАТВЕРК deserves a fitting punishment. I will help you. Then go to his house and repay the man for his many sins. I will be waiting for you there. I will fall upon that deviant like the blade of vengeance itself. Together we will ensure that he pays for his crimes with his life. The hand's voice is pensive and sorrowful. I weep for her. I see how open and pure her heart once was, a shining beacon of kindness and mercy, but the pain and torments that befell her made her cruel. Anger burns within her. She no longer knows what is good and what is not. I cannot and will not judge her. I mourn the innocence that has been lost. Така, само време, можем ли да продадем някакви неща? Не, това не. Така. Какво е това? Триумф, така. Не, артефактите с имена не искам да ги продаваме, защото, както казах в началото, не знам дали може да се апгрейдват тук. Затова предпочитам да ги пазим за сега. Golden Chain, така. Неща за продаване като цяло. Тук не знам колко от тези ще ни трябват и няма да ни трябват, така че мисля, че така е окей. Да оставим нещата. Има някакви монети, така, тук имаме доста неща за продаване. Леко джънк. Може би трябваше да сложат бутонче Sell All Junk, за да не се занимаваме с такива неща. В случай, че, както се вижда, повечето от тези работи не ни трябват и са тук само за да ги продаваме. Момент. Само. Така. Имаме камъняци разни. Decorated Tabard. Tantonic Titans Minor Rune. Вижте сега, това май може би ще го използваме за... Имаше едно място в една стена, на което може да поставим нещо и мисля, че може би това е за там. Ivory Dice няма да даваме за сега. Така, Ivory Comb, Grinding Stone, Shining Scale, Hide, Bag of Holding. Да, Silver Statue. Artificial Flower. Добре, мисля, че в общи линии това са нещата. Hem of Psionic Protection. Това така не разбрахме каква му е играта. И защо не успяхме да го превърнем в някакъв сериозен артефакт. Но за сега толкова. Още 1000 голд. Няма лошо. Така. Сега, аз излязох някъде... тук да, нагоре трябва да скачим. Нека отидем да му кажем на този там две приказки. Преди да приключим с тази част. Но нямаше да е лошо, може би все пак да отидем първо да направим рест. Или също така да отидем да питаме онзи тип за... Аз знам какво ще направим. Нека да вършим максимално много работа. Така. Отиваме тук директно при арената, за да питаме за братно на Сосиел. Така и така сме тук с него. Как трябваше да се завъртим? Така. The Battle Bliss. И после отиваме да се оправим с ЛАТВЕРК. А искам да говорим тук първо, защото така е, че пък ни е на път и онзи с черната маска и ако говорим с брат ми, той иска да го убиеме. Или нещо от сорта. Направо да свършим и тази работа. Honor, Citizen. За клик с greet you politely. How can I be of assistance? Without the succubi? Не, това още не сме го направили. I'm looking for one particular slave. I suspect he passed through the hands of a slave or wearing a black mask. You've come to the right place. Tell me more about the slave you're looking for. The tiefling listens to your description and then nods. You're in luck. The gladiator you're looking for is still alive. He's even earned a place in the Naedrian League. We call him the Dire One. However, it won't be easy to arrange a visit. All of the League's members prefer to keep to themselves, but the Dire One is notoriously repulsive. In the arena, Sosia looks at you stricken. So these beasts made him sharing. What cruel mockery. But he's still alive, and that is all that matters. We can't waste time. We must get him out of there before it's too late. Как? Какво трябва да стане сега? Guardian Minotaur. Не мога да дойдем насам. Не можем да ходим натам. Можем ли да минем отсам? Не, тук има Минотавър. Да пази. Трябва да го разкараме от тук, казват. Добре, отиваме да се оправим с ЛАТВЕРК. И след това ще се насочим към Nexus да направим рест и да видим още какво можем да направим по въпроса. Така. Мърси. Take Vengeance on ЛАТВЕРК. Вижте Companion Quest. Visit Willow's Mansion. Още не сме тук. Той е в Upper City, затова не сме го видяли това място. Organize a meeting for Sosia and his brother. Enter the Naedrian League. Значи сега трябва да направим задачката, която този ни даде. За скубите. За да може да стане това. За да можем да се организираме и да видим обратно. Добре. Аз обаче... Айде да. Аз обаче може би все пак първо трябваше да отида до Nexus. Не, дайте да видим какво ще стане тук. Значи все пак няма да го убиваме този с черната маска все още. Може би по-натам. Защото мисля, че може да е свързан с някой от квестите на някой. Гледам да не го приключим без да искаме. Така. Добре. Как да отидем до при него сега? Да, тук право. Караме през портала. Така, минаваме тук. Идвам сам. Това място трябва да се приближи. Порталче. Какво става сега? Айде всички тук на купона. Айде бързичко да го запукваме този. Може би трябваше да сейвна първо, за да не стане някоя много лоша работа. Той се бъфи нещо. А тук ли са аси марките, които спасихме? Не. Лошо.
Godspeed.
Looking even paler than before, ЛАТВЕРК greets you in a trembling voice. Did you stop her? Is the rest mask still a threat to us? I know everything about you and your highly unusual tastes. It's not my fault. I did not want this weakness, but it gnaws me from the inside. I know what I'm doing is wrong, but there is nothing I can do to stop myself. But I swear, I was kind to those girls the rest of the time. It was I who saved them. There is a wound festering in your soul. It hurts, but you cannot share this pain with anyone, or your friends will turn away. Which is why you set out to make friends yourself. Them. Amber points at the Aasimar women. But this isn't true friendship. You are still lonely and still hurting. I feel very sorry for you. The time has come. You will answer for your crimes. Това червената маска ли трябва да е? И как го посочи? With a show of impeccable timing, Red Mask drops from the rafters, looking like the remorseless spirit of vengeance incarnate. She lands in front of the ashen-faced ЛАТВЕРК and in a harsh, damning voice proclaims, "The hour of retribution is at hand, scum. You will pay for each and every one of your crimes." No, don't touch me. May evil never go unpunished. What the hell happened? Той ми бяга, бе. Леле. Добре. Това направо тук много тегави неща правим. My little birds, protect me from this vermin. They've come to enslave you once again.
No time for debate.
Лошо. Ау. Бро. Добре, ще му смъкнем защитата на този. Кекъл. Лошо. Няма да успея да го оцеля, това е много дебел. Така. Трябва да внимавам с тия масови демиджи, да му се навали, защото ще... Чакай сега. Аз мога да направя тук нещо друго. Масовия petrification. Те сейвнаха ли всички, бе? Ей, не, демона сапа ще ги бие. Добре, този на какво има, няма да видим. Мале, той има много неща. Той е имунен на всичко, бе, брат. Добре, значи го биеме след такива работи. Той е имунен на Magic Missile, разбира се. Защо не е? Добре, поне ги защитихме тези. Така, сега този трябва да му направим такива тежки диспели. Това е таргет, нали така? Таргет. Ехе, диспелнахме му само едно нещо. Така.
Prepare yourself.
Тази поне го цели. Аз и да искам не мога. мога да му направя? Мога да му направя Dazzling Display, дали ми си иска? Може би не. Няма да правим Power of Fate да си възстановим странчи. Гадният демон са отива и убива някакви хора тук. Мога да му направя един призъм. Reflex сейф. Аз сега се надявам с селката да успее да му смъкне много неща с диспела. Не успяхме да му вземем много неща. Обаче и сега тук ще му понасмъкна някакви работи. Да, нещо му понасмъкнахме му някакви неща. Обаче продължаваме да не мога целиме. Трябваше да спра... Не бе, не убивай другите, бе, бате! Ах, да му се не види. Чакайте са. Какви имунности му смъкнахме? Той е много бъфнат. Ще с електрисити и неща. Magic Missile все още е имунен на Magic Missile. Добре, значи нещо друго да му направим. Touch. Да пробвам да му правя демидж с Fantasmal Killer. Oh, we did it! Добре, бе. The Asimar screams desperately, smearing tears and blood across his aristocratic face. I am begging you, spare me. This disgusting trait, this addiction, it makes me hate myself. I was weak, but I swear I will no longer allow my weakness to harm anyone else. Bring me to justice if you wish, but spare me from your vengeance. Orisheo gasps with bitterness and indignation. The blood of heaven runs in your veins, while others break themselves striving to be better, nobler, brighter. All those things were given to you by fate. You were born blessed, and this is how you squandered that blessing? This is worse than more folly. This is blasphemy. How dare you? Да го оставяме на тях. Не, мисля, че тук не е добра идея да го оставяме. Мисля, че е по-добра идея да сме lawful. Така че not to the Asimar women. He's yours. Deal with him as you see fit. ЛАТВЕРК casts a frightened glance at the captives, eyeing him with predatory intent. What? But they're my little birds. I love them. I've been taking care of them. They would never harm me. Teeth bared with wild, almost bestial fury, the Asimar women rush toward ЛАТВЕРК. They have no weapons, but they tear into him with teeth and nails until the madman's agonized screeches give way to choked, gurgling whimpers. Without further ado, the Avenger bends over ЛАТВЕРК. When she stands again, she is holding the bloody strip of skin that used to be the Asimar's face. The woman takes off her mask and smiles with satisfaction. He took away my beauty. Now I've taken his. Red Mask stretches ЛАТВЕРК's face over her own, fixing it in place with a handful of barbed hooks she drives into her own flesh. Rivulets of blood ran down the woman's neck, giving her a grotesque and terrifying appearance. You will take care of these young women, and I will take my leave. This corrupt city is full of scum whose wrongdoings remain unpunished. I will bring retribution to each and every one of them. The Red Mask's laughter echoes eerily through the cellar's vaults, full of excitement and lust for blood that can only be sated by more brutal killing. You did a noble thing when you did not abandon the weak in their hour of need. You have my deepest respect. Show the Aasimar girls a safe path to the Nexus. Go to my camp. The young Aasimar women exchange glances, then nod gratefully to you. Huddled together in a tight group, they set out in search of the promised shelter. They carry themselves with an air of grim determination to look after one another and fly away out of this terrible place. Бих казал, че все пак good ending на цялата работа. Имаме някакъв strain damage. Колко е? О, доста е. Това може да означава само едно. Време да си го върнем. Върнахме ли си? Почти. Ах, да му се навиди. Сега ще ме карат да използвам. Не. Мислех, че имаме. Но се оказа, че нямаме. Добре. Нищо и така става. Не е такъв проблем. Temple of Roses by Estin of Scenaria. Rolling flames are devouring the Temple of Roses. The petals of flower drunken curl up and finally turn to ash. The moment of utter pain and ugliness that comes before final serene eternity. Burning idols seem to grimace, cry, laugh, and turn their fiery gazes upon me. The heat grows unbearable, but I dare not turn my eyes from this sacred fire. Нещо става тук, но това не е толкова важно. Появил се Хенда ли, бе? Той да не е успял да ни смъкне много кръв. Някаква ножка има. Ring of Protection на плюс 3, Cloak на плюс 3. Ножката е някакво яко кукри обаче. Шок. Плюс 4. Inside bonus на attack rolls against enemies armed with shields. Плюс 2 damage bonus against enemies armed with two-handed weapons. Много яко за някакъв асасин на ножки. Така. Да видим кой може да използва рингче на плюс 3 от нашите хора. Само всъщност за момента никой. Може да го сложим тук да има 24, но за сега може би по-скоро не. Клока на плюс 3, знаем, че трудна работа, тук даже сме на плюс 4. Добре, имаме тайна стая. Какво има в тази тайна стая? Чест с ръкавички вътре. Плюс 5 бонус, трикери. Аз мисля, че тя имаше някакви такива, или не? Чак, какво? Wherever the wearer of these gloves casts a level 7 or higher spell, they get 20 temporary hit points. Значи тук. Apprentice. Аз чета Apprentice Lockpicks, ръкавичките са тези. Gloves of Enduring Wizard. Аз се викам някакви ръкавички за... Да. Добре, мисля, че не успяхме да убием много от асимарските жени. Така че това е добре. Тук друго нещо става. Hand of the Inheritor. Той не ще да си говори с нас. Добре. До тук добре. Приключихме тази работа. Фанахме доста експириенс между другото. Наближаваме 16 лева. Аз нямам търпение. Така. Тук сега обаче за жалост не можем да се качим горе. Аз много исках да се качим тук горе. Къде беше това сега? Даже още по-нагоре. Тук има някакви демонични работи. Мисля, че тук ще се биеме с нещо. Добре, трябва да скачим горе. Трябва да дойдем тук без Оришел. Портал имаме ли? Имаме портал. Добре, значи насам пътя. Защо не мога да дойда насам? А, да, това нещо пак. Другия вариант е да пробваме Harem of Ardent Dreams, защото и там трябва да дойдем. Тоест да отидем. Там трябва да дойдем. Там трябва да отидем. Тук горе има някакви неща. Паче без да съм правил рест. Harem of Ardent Dreams. Мисля, че тук много ще се бия с годините, защото няма да се разберем с тях според мен. Другото беше това нещо. Което е... Добре, чакай сега. Слейв, така. Направим един сейф и да видим тук какво трябва да стане, за да се построи този път. Виж, тук само някакви шипове. Ние трябва да ги завъртиме по правилния начин, обаче какво ще стане като ги завъртим? Те се въртат по някакъв гаден начин, обаче. Това тук е така. Обаче другите неща са крайно неточни. Аз въобще не разбирам какво трябва да стане тук. Въртиме го, аз не знам какво се случва. Преди това ще е много сложно нещо, бе. Нямам и на идея как трябва да го построя това. В никакъв случай. Не можем да ходим по шиповете, това е със сигурност. Трябва да е по този път. Така. Как те застава. Как се построяват две обаче от три. Това пъзъл ще е тегъв. Трябва да разберем как да го направим обаче. Сега аз така видях, че има портал. Ето портал. Добре, нека да отидем до Нексуса. Да видим там как стоят нещата. Да направим рест и след това ще... Вече мога да ходим на Flash Market с Battle Bliss Nexus. Идеално. И имаме 3 телепорта вече в града, което е супер. А това с тия ръчки сега и този странен мост трябва да видим как да го направим. Това е много... Възможно ли е да трябва и двете да ги направим наведнъж? A sudden searing pain forces you to your knees. For a moment you feel as though you are in a frying pan. Your skin is on fire and the agony is unbearable. The world goes dim around you and you find yourself unable to breathe. As you fade and out of consciousness, As you fade in and out of consciousness, you hear the angel Targon screaming in pain somewhere nearby. Then the pain stops. The hand of the inheritor is standing over you, his hands aglow with healing light. My righteous comrades, what happened? I felt no evil spell, but both of you suddenly screamed in agony. I don't know, Targon whispers. It suddenly felt like I was burning. I was bound, hand and foot, unable to defend myself, and I was burning. Wait, don't heal me yet, hand of the inheritor. I need answers. I want to study these invisible burns. What could it have been? A curse? A spell? I didn't sense anything, I still don't, but we are in the abyss. Many things are possible here. There's no point speculating about something we don't understand. We have other things to discuss. You're right, we have much to discuss. We cannot afford to be idle while our enemy is active. How are we going to find the echo of the Scary? Our mission is to eliminate the threat of the Naidrian crystals. That should remain our priority. But we cannot ignore the echo. Our insidious enemy knows that you are in the Abyss, champion, and it is clear that he plans to kill you. Moreover, there is still a matter of the hostage that he took from Pelur's fall. I know how the echo of the Scary thinks. I'm certain that his lair is not in Oceaneer. I believe he holds his captives in the Rasping Rifts, his lord's realm. However, as I mentioned before, he must have a portal hidden somewhere here in the city. It wouldn't surprise me if the portal is sealed or guarded, but we must still try to find it. I can help with that. Let Justin focus on his mission, and I will search for the portal. You can't go to the City of Demons alone, sister. Your maimed wing may deceive some of the demons into believing you are a fallen angel, but they will not all be fooled. That is why the champion and I ought to help you. It will not keep us from fulfilling our primary mission. Very well, I will follow your lead, but first I need to follow up on a hunch. I'll be near the portal that leads from the Nexus to Oceaneer. Meet me there. So what do we do now? The Echo does not work alone. He has numerous spies and contacts among the demons involved with the World War. If we can track down one of the Echo's allies, they might lead us straight to him. We could search for the Echo of the Scary's henchman here in Oceaneer, but it'd be like looking for a needle in a haystack. Fortune may favor us, but we'd be trusting everything to chance. A more reliable method would be to turn to the rules of this evil city for assistance. After all, we're going to need their help in other matters as well. The hand of the inheritor sounds gloomy. There is one tried and true method of hunting demons. Make them hunt you instead. The Echo hates everything and everyone related to Iomedae. If I walk into a Oceaneer and start killing demons and praising the goddess, he's bound to send some of his servants after me. You end up with half the Abyss chasing after you. The old paladin chuckles, but you can hear the determination in his voice. Don't underestimate me though. I'm not going to sit here and do nothing. All my life I've been good at two things, killing demons and staying alive. That's exactly what I plan to do now. It's too dangerous, I can't let you do that. I'm not sure we can afford to be cautious right now, but I won't disobey a direct order. I have to go. Значи ние можем все пак да си говорим и с Беренгер и останалите. Това Лушинира е портала. Така, няма да говорим с него. It's nice to be surrounded by good company, even in the abyss, especially in the abyss. How does it feel to be here? I feel like I'm in a museum. Who'd have thought old Berenger could end up in the company of all these legendary heroes? There's the commander of the Fifth Crusade and the Silver Angel Maiden from the songs, and her brother, an equally legendary angel who survived the furnace of a huge demonic machine. And then there's the hero Yeniel. I know 3 streets and 5 women named after her. And finally, there's a herald of my goddess. Talk about being awestruck. It's an honor just to be in his presence. I'm not the stuff of legends. Never have been and never will be. For me, a war with demons is just a war we have to win. When I pray to Ayomide, it's like turning to a mentor for help, and there is no shame in asking for advice for someone you trust. I don't know how I ended up here with all of you, but somehow I feel I'm exactly where I belong. Добре. Дали да го изпратиме да ги залови тия демони? Yenio has not forgotten her days as a soldier. Despite her age and her terrible years of imprisonment, she has not lost her military bearing. She greets you with a slight nod. Tell me about yourself, Yenio. Ah, now I can finally set things straight. It sounds like they've made up quite a few ridiculous stories about me in Mendev. Well, despite what you may have heard, I wasn't perfect paladin. I was born in Mendev before the wound was opened. I remember the sadness and confusion caused by Aroden's death. In my town, the priest wouldn't close down the temple, and he refused to turn it over to Ayomide. Delegations were sent to the priest to explain what had happened. They tried to convince him of Aroden's death, but he never believed them. He continued to preside over what was probably Aroden's last surviving temple. He was certain his god was still alive, and he grew old, still hoping for Aroden's return. I remember looking at him and thinking, what would it be like to be a living relic, a memory of a long forgotten past? I suppose it's rather ironic that I have turned out to be something of a living relic myself. But it was that priest who inspired me to become a crusader. Those were the early days of the crusade. Now you call it the first crusade, but at the time it was just the crusade. I was almost 20. I suppose I can blame my bad behavior on my youth, and it would be pretty true. I caused my commanding officers so much trouble. I argued with them and I accused my comrades of laziness and dereliction of duty. Things weren't easy back then, and the desire to help and protect, the natural desire of every paladin, often stood in opposition to the need for violence and military efficiency. So in truth, the hero Yenio wasn't all that heroic. Before I was captured by the demons, I was merely a troublesome soldier. I think I see a similar fire in the eyes of Sila, your companion. She's brave, and her heart is in the right place, but she's young. She still has a lot to learn. I want to hear more about your youth. Tell me about your time in the First Crusade. All the rebelliousness of my youth, Yenio chuckles good-naturedly. Although youth might not be entirely accurate, you see, my greatest act of rebellion actually happened during the 10th or 11th year of my service. I had a public argument with the leaders of the crusade. I told them that I was tired of fighting alongside them. I said they were timid and indecisive. I accused them of turning a blind eye to justice, among many other things. Anyway, I declared that I'd be better off on my own. Things got pretty heated, and one of the priests shouted that he'd ban me from service. Well, I shouted right back. I told him he didn't have the right. Only Ayomide could reject my oaths of duty. After that, I took my sword Radiance, gathered up all my belongings, and headed straight to the wound. I was ready to be a hero, all on my own. I was in the world wound for 2 years. Everyone thought I was dead. I strayed far, even further than the cursed city of Iz. I managed to free a lot of prisoners who were being held captive by the demons and cultists, but then I was faced with a new challenge. I had to get them home, and that's when I started to finally understand my commanding officers. When I was by myself, I could be reckless. I could throw myself into the fray, but when I was forced to look out for others, things became more complicated. Suddenly, every decision mattered. I was responsible for the lives of these prisoners. Many of them were crusaders, and quite a few of them were reckless hotheads like myself. It was a long, exhausting journey. It pushed me to my limits, and I came very close to breaking my vows, but I made it. I kept everyone alive. I managed to get them all safely to the gates of Dresden. and the welcome we received. I suppose our triumphant return is what started the whole myth about Yeniel, the saintly hero. The woman chuckles in amusement. But do you know who came to greet me? Do you know who welcomed me home? The two people I argued with before my departure, my commanding officer and the priest. We nearly fell into each other's arms, and there were so many apologies on all sides. That priest's name was Antoclitus, and he later became one of the patriarchs of the Church of Iomede, and the name of my commanding officer was Tonton Vane. Gorkia. Why did you choose to follow me into the abyss? We barely know each other. Well, I suppose the obvious answer is that I wanted to help you. After all, you saved me from endless imprisonment. But there is more to it than that. After the events at Midnight Fane, the Queen announced that you had departed on a highly sensitive mission. Everyone was excited about the commander, but no one cared much about the strange old woman, even if she did share the name of a legendary hero. Yeniel shrugged slightly, as if she's still somewhat puzzled by her status as legendary hero. Speaking of names, I've actually met two of my namesakes. Apparently, it's become rather common to name children after me. But I digress. While all of this was going on, I tried to find out what happened to my friends and quickly discovered that I was alone. Denisa, my best friend, died of old age just a year ago. The priest Antoclitus became a respected patriarch, but age did not spare his mind. He is in his final days, being cared for by his family, Joram and Staunton. Well, you know their story, and that's how it was with everyone I once knew. Everything has changed. The city, the people, the crusades. I heard no familiar names and met no familiar faces. Only the queen remained the same, my proud brave queen. But time had changed her too. A dark storm raged in her eyes, a storm brought on by doubt or weariness. When the Crusades first began, she bore the weight of the war on her shoulders. Suddenly, she was responsible not only for the kingdom, but for the entire world. She had a duty to turn back the tide of the abyss. Yet, even then, I do not remember her being so broken. Long story short, I felt lost in Dresden, and a lost paladin seeks salvation in prayer. I went to the temple of Iomede, and there I met an angel who was just as lost, Targona. From the moment we locked eyes, I knew that we were kindred spirits. I learned a lot from Targona. She told me about the new power of the Holy Wardens. She spoke about the echo of the Scary and the hand of the Inheritor, and then she talked about you. She told me that she was going to follow you into the abyss. I could think of no reason to stay in Dresden, and I certainly wasn't going to live out my old age in some distant peaceful land. My crusade, the old warrior pauses, then finishes resolutely. It's not yet over. Tell me again. Nay. What do you think about the Holy Wardens? Do you also possess these abilities? Yes, I do possess these abilities. I've been thinking a lot about why the Holy Wardens have these powers, and I have a few ideas, though I'm not sure they are worth much. Targona told me that the Holy Wardens possess the same kind of magic as the Wardstones, but Yenia shrugs. The Wardstones didn't exist back in my time. The first one was put up in Canabras after the fall of Dresden and my imprisonment, so I didn't find out about the Wardstones until after I left the Midnight Fane. I saw one for the first time when I arrived in Dresden with the Queen and her people. This generation of Crusaders grew up with the Wardstones, so they take them for granted. They are a normal part of life. For me, though, they are something new. Maybe that's why I see them differently. Targon said that the strength of these Wardstones comes from Celestials who devoted themselves to eternal service. She and her brother were supposed to give themselves to the stones as well. That's when I started thinking about the Holy Wardens. Our abilities make us living Wardstones. I wanted to see if I could find a connection. Maybe we all share something in common, something that gives us our abilities. Perhaps it's the result of Aurelius' experimentation. Yenia winces. Please don't mention that witch's name. No, I don't think it has anything to do with her. That traitor didn't create the Wardstones, and as far as I know, our friend Berengar has never met her. Here's what I think. There are many worthy men and women among the Crusaders. Their eyes and hearts burn with holy zeal, but even among the paladins and angels there are not many who have had everything taken from them, or who have been taken from everything, like a tree pulled out of the ground, roots and all. And among those who have experienced such loss, few have chosen to accept the grief as a duty, a weight that they must carry. You see, we are like the angels who chose to lock themselves in the wardstones, and that makes us different from demons, because demons are anything but selfless. I think that's why demons are weakened in our presence or near the wardstones. They can't bear such devoted service. It breaks something in their way. It breaks something in the way their demonic power works. That's why they lose their abilities. Why they can't teleport, for example. Learned wizards would probably laugh at my theory, but it's what I honestly believe. Thank you for the conversation. I got to go. Crusade continues. Henda. Here, far from the eyes of strangers, I can assume my true form, but in Lushinira I will remain hidden. It seems this sorrowful and unsettling place will be what we call home, at least for a time. How well known am I among the denizens of Lushinira? The highest reaches of the nobility and the most apathetic among the rabble may not have heard your name, but the rest of the city knows of you. Tell me honestly, what do you think of the one you call the champion of Galarian? I would be lying if I told you that I don't observe you with some trepidation. Sometimes I wonder what will happen if you falter. For power and responsibility represent the most difficult trial of all, and many righteous souls have failed to pass it. I have a question about our mission. Then ask away, you must have a lot of questions. What can you tell me about the abyss and demons in general? Demons, the hand of the inheritor speaks slowly and heavily, as if trying to break through some inner resistance. They are the youngest race of the outer planes, and the wildest in origin. Once entirely different creatures used to rule the abyss. Those were Klipoth, the embodiments of chaos. They were much less human-like. But then one entity conjured up the idea that primordial chaos could be mixed with an evil mortal soul. And that is how the first demon was created. No one remembers the name of the creator now, but the creations still live and prosper. They overthrew the Klipoth and became the essence, the soul of the abyss. And I honestly cannot say which was worse, before humanity was added to it or now. What do you know about Lushinira? Chaos has many faces. When chaos decided to manifest itself in the form of a city, a Lushinira was born. There are places in the abyss that are darker, bloodier, more dangerous and deceiving, but I cannot imagine a place whose significance would eclipse that of Lushinira. When Nocticuo built the city, she employed everything of the essence that ever existed in the abyss. Demons of all kinds from every corner of this gloomy plane live here, and what is more, the Lady in Shadow opened the city gates to visitors from the other planes, and strangers swarmed the city. Merchants and travelers, mercenaries and explorers, mages and bards, creatures from all planes. Those daring enough to visit the abyss chose Lushinira as their destination. The city is divided by two sets of walls between which lie the quarters open to outsiders. One set of walls protects Nocticuo's guests from the rabble and the poor, who are desperate enough to violate their ruler's orders for a chance to get a coin or two. The other set of walls protects outsiders from the city's nobility, who can flout Nocticuo's recommendations without any reason at all, merely on a whim. But do not think that there is a single place in Lushinira that is safe, for danger lurks around every corner there. Tell me more about Nocticuo. The Lady in Shadow, the first of the succubi kin and likely the most dangerous demon to have ever been spawned by the abyss. I cannot tell you much about her, for she cunningly hides in the shadows, eluding the daggers of her foes and the schemes of her rivals. All I know is that she gained power after she overthrew Virix, Virievexus, нещо такова, who was the lord of shadow demons. She took his powers, his realm and his subjects, and that merely whetted her appetite. Many demon lords have perished since then, cut down by her treacherous and sudden strikes. With each fallen enemy, her power grew stronger and her glory greater. I cannot tell which of her weapons is more dangerous. Her unerring strikes, her seductive charms, her unbridled courage, or her astounding stealth. You must be aware of all these dangers. Така, значи, какво имаме? Unerring strikes, seductive charms, unbridled courage, astounding stealth. Значи тя си е баш асасинче, не може да я плашиме. Тя ще се пробва да ни чармва. Unerring strikes и stealth. Тоест ще ни става невидимо. Ние трябва да имаме си invisibility или true sync, може би нещо такова, като се биеме с нея. I'd like to know more about Shamira. Shamira, the ardent dream. This name once rang with purity and glory, but today it is tarnished with shame and treachery. Born in the upper planes, she was granted the high honor of killing the flame of dreams in mortals, to fan it and protect it from the frigid chills of sorrow and cynicism. Shamira performed her duties faithfully until she made one single mistake. I will spare you the details, but I will say instead the grandeur of the dream she... Чакай сега, нещо тук. I will spare you the details, but all I will say is that the grandeur of the dream she fostered was equal only to the bloody price of its realization. It was majestic but somber dream, and Shamira let it come true. Then she fled. Either cowardice or certainty of her rectitude kept her from standing in front of her superiors and answering for her actions. She hid in the abyss, where Nocticool, the Lady of Shadow, embraced her ardent light and darkened it with her blackness. A few centuries passed, and we heard her name again. Now she was called the Mistress of Eloshinira, Nocticool's loyal companion and favorite. That is how we knew for certain that we were right on that fateful day, when we condemned Shamira. Our only regret is that we failed to foresee her fall. What is so dangerous about Hipsmira? Rule. She is the worst of all Baphomet's offspring. She gained this grim title in the bloody conflict with her own brothers and sisters, and she brutally wiped out everyone who stood in her way. She did not even show mercy for her own mother and doomed her to a cruel execution. As a reward for her eagerness and loyalty, Baphomet granted her use of his most cherished tool, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. However, now an even greater threat has arisen under Hipsmira's rule. Unusually powerful demons, the source of whose strength is unknown and most dangerous to us. The Crusaders have encountered such demons only a scant few times, but should an entire army of such fiends appear, Dresden would fall, Nerosian would fall, and all of Avistan would follow, and even Golarion would not stand a chance against them. Putting an end on Hipsmira's machinations that is our mission. I see you've blessed the rocks of this cavern. Indeed I have. If even on Golarion the abyss' harmful influence can unsettle mortals and disturb their rest, what then can be said of the abyss itself, the very heart of pain and sin? But worry not, champion. By the power granted me by Omedei, I have consecrated these dark caves. You can find respite here and recover your strength should the need arise. Everything is clear. I'd like to ask you a personal question. There shouldn't be any secrets between us, champion. The very instant that Queen Galfrey sent you to this dark place, I swore to myself that I would do everything within my power to ease your burden. Why did you follow me to the abyss? Because my duty and my honor demanded that I do so. You were facing a great mission and colossal challenge, while those who remained behind merely had the honor of protecting what you had already liberated from the demon hordes. My heart told me that my help would be needed here more. How does it feel for you to be in a place like this? This is not my first foray into the abyss, though it is the first time I have come here to watch and talk rather than do battle. On more than one occasion, I and other warriors of heaven have descended to this evil and corrupted place to bring retribution to the Veil and grant salvation to their victims. For better or worse, heaven and the abyss cannot engage in open war, though I can recall some moments when we seemed to teeter on the precipice of just that. All we can permit ourselves are raids and skirmishes along the border. Is ultimate victory over the demons even possible? It is, but it's not the kind of victory you dream of. The hand of the inheritor remains silent for a while before speaking in heavy, hollow voice. The abyss lives while evil lives in the hearts of mortals. Demons don't just appear from nothing. Most of them originate from the souls of people who committed themselves to evil while still living. That's why the war with the abyss, should it ever start, may be never ending. The place of each fallen demon will be immediately taken by a new one. That's why our only true chance to secure ultimate victory will emerge only after we exterminate all evil in the world. We must achieve a situation where not a single soul would voluntarily resort to evil deeds, when mortals themselves, by their own free will, turn to the light all at once. But no one in the universe knows how to achieve that, and many who have tried ended up as tyrants and false prophets. May heaven guard me against such a fall. What are your thoughts on Galfrey's last order? Iomide has never striven to rule over mortals. She has only guided and helped them, so I should follow her example and never try to interfere with your way of life or question it. What I will say is that I am as certain of the necessity of our mission as I am the sharpness of my blade. What surprised me, and truth be told, unsettled me too, is the cruelty with which my noble sister-in-arms Galfrey dispatched you here. The Queen has every right to give orders to her commander, but the right without righteousness is worth little. Is there anything you can help me with? I will follow you everywhere, remaining invisible so our enemies will have not the slightest suspicion of my presence. When you need advice, I will give it to you, and when you are stricken by disease, I will come to your aid and dispel it. No matter how long you may have to travel through the abyss, you can always be sure that I am near, and heaven has not forsaken you. How do you hide yourself from the demons? This magic spell turns me into an invisible spirit, hidden from the eyes of everyone who was born in the abyss, and whose heart has been blackened by evil. Those who hail from the other planes are capable of seeing me if they use magical sight of some kind, as well as those few whose lawful fate was to be born and raised here while carrying light and purity in their souls. But my protection from demons is very effective and will work until I myself decide to appear in my true form to join the battle or help someone in need. Така. What is our next step? In Lushinira, there is no one as powerful as Shamira, the right hand of Nocticoa herself. It is she who rules the city while her inscrutable mistress is away. As sad as it is for me to admit, we must try to gain her favor if we want Lushinira to take us seriously. Okay. You will face great challenges in this cursed place. Stay strong and remember that the fate of Glorian depends on you. Мале, много приказки тук. Трябва да видим това за Беренгер, дали да го изпратиме в... Какво тук са? This place has been sanctified. It can protect the area around it from corruption and abyss. Супер. Оришел. Така, Оришел няма много нещо за казване. Лан. Нищо ново. Така. Говорихме с всички тук, мисля. Всъщност Таргона. Не, няма всъщност тук. Добре. Така, да видим какво още има тук. Нищо ново при Ненио. Някакъв Асимар. Yeah. We will never forget how you saved us. You're a true hero, an arbiter of mercy, sent to us by Radiant Serenray herself. Добре. Тук всичко е точно. Wendlock. А защо е точно при тези тук злите? Това не мога да разбера. Моля да си говоря с коня. Но... Само ще стане нещо най-вероятно по някой време. Така, трябва да влезем in the caves. Влизаме in the caves, трябва да направим арест. Първо искам да видя всички дали са тук. За Лоджив. Така, Hey Chief, One Talk, Not Right Now, Грейбор, Commander, така. Са тука. Добре. Добре бе, а къде е това момченцето, което спасихме всъщност? Сила. Няма какво да си говорим с нея. Ембър, нищо ново. Асимарите, така. Дарън. Good afternoon, Commander. How can I help you? I found your brother. He is a gladiator in the arena. Ама той знае. In the arena, so see, looks still stricken. So this beast made him... Да, това го четохме даже. Странно. Той го знае това нещо. Never forget. Така. Тука. Няма нищо интересно. Ето хорче се. Everyone is so strange here. No one wants anything from me. It's great. It's great. That's Kefi. The boy you saved from his wicked mother gives you a look that is both sad and mature beyond his years. Супер. Радвам се, че го спасихме. Така. Нека да приберем сега всички артефакти с имена, които няма да продавам. Което ще рече това. Не, това нещо не трябваше да го прибирам. Чакайте се. Защото е някакъв артефакт квест. Няма да го прибирам. Сега мога да се възползвам от Abrupt End, да го видим да го дадем на някой. Сега ще видим как ще стане. Тия брони са кул. Аз сега трябва да видя всъщност какви артефакти да поставим на останалите. Аз всъщност какво парти ще използвам сега? Щом ще оставим Оришейл, ще вземем Лан на него место. Обаче, вземе Лан, характер, нямаме човек, който да ни отключва. Ще имаме Perception, но няма да имаме трикари. Не може да нямаме трикари. Как ще го направим сега това? Грейбор трябва да го вземе с нас. Сосиел трябва да е с нас. Освен да разкарам Ненио, което не мисля ще да го правя. Да разкараме Ненио и да вземем Лоджив. Защото той всъщност е единствения, който има тук трикари. Да, ние имаме само 2 човека с трикари. Добре, това означава, че аз трябва да дигна левел на Лан и на Лоджив. Лоджив той е... Алдрикс Канджо, Кейн Трикстър. Си му го дигах на макс. Така, трикари задължително. Perception задължително. Той е хубаво да си има стелт определено. Knowledge World обаче също така. Стелт. Knowledge World. Да, защото сега ние като разкараме Ненио, няма да имаме Knowledge World. Така че някой трябва да има. Някакъв поне. Така. Point Blank Shot. Едва ли ще бъде Point Blank. Improved Critical Dagger. Dodge. Extend. Толкова му се дига сега при Arcane Trickster. Всъщност на следващия левел му се дига Sneak Attack-та. Сега дигаме Prompto Sneak Attack. Добре. Сега аз мога да му сложа Light Armor Proficiency. Light Armor Proficiency. Against Attack of Opportunity. Combat Mobility не е лошо също. Critical Focus. Critical Focus. Какво още имаме? Improved инициатива. Като че ли няма какво тук друго да му дигам. Мога да му дигна Die Hard. Защото е на предната редица. Или Light Armor. Може би да му дигнем все пак Light Armor. Другия вариант е Combat Mobility, разбира се. Но той има много магии, които го пропускат. Така че по-скоро ще си оставим за нататък Critical Focus. Сега ще дигнем Light Armor. Така, кой е левел магии? 5 левел магии. Какво имаме тук? Cone of Cold, смисъл. Някакви неща. Той много магии има, как? Защо така? Acidic Spray. Angelic Aspect. Това е готин бъф. Break Enchantment. Constructing Coils. Dominate. Fire Strike. Fire Strike. Gene Kind. Си Prison в никакъв случай. Mindfuck. Не. Phantasmal Web. Можем и Phantasmal Web да му сложим. Аз не го използвам много това Phantasmal Web, често казвам. Empiric Shadow Shield. Не беше лошо като идея. Но Fire Strike пък мене ме кефи, така че Angelic Aspect и да, мисля, че тия магии са окей. Така. Сега трябва да му дигнем и митичната част. Какво съм дигнал аз? Last Stand, което е супер. Ever Ready, това е за атаки в Opportunity. Сега какво ще му дигнем е въпрос. Мога да му дигна още магии. Аз обаче някакси си мисля, че той си има достатъчно магии. Имахме някакви готини неща. Unrelenting Assault. Powerful Mythic Shadow, не мисля. Powerful Shadows. Expose Vulnerability Leading Strike. Armor. Mage Armor. О, че това било много интересно. Enduring Spells. Това е яко за неговите бъфове. Enduring Spells. Unrelenting Assault, обаче. Кое да бъде? Enduring Spells. Rupture Restraints. Automatically диспелва някакви неща. Unrelenting Assault. Айде ще Assault. Защото той като Damage Dealer трябва да има неща, които му дават Damage. Така, тук сега трябва да отправим и Zen Archer-ката. Лам. Той има Perception, очевидно. Lore Nature ще ми трябва много. Lore Nature ще ми трябва адски много. При това. Така. Hammer the Gap. Това е много готини неща. Focus, Deadly Aim, Rapid Shot. Той всъщност си е... Направо си е екстра даже. Improved Snapshot, Hammer the Gap. Да видим какво още можем да му дигнем. Crane Style. Shaitan Style. Elemental Fist. Sickening Critical. Staggering. Това е нещо. Staggering Critical звучи добре. Staggering Critical. Tiring Critical. Fatigued. Staggering. Stunning Fist не. Staggering Critical. Може би. Ще видим. Другия вариант е да му дигна Simple Weapon Proficiency, за да му дигнем Weapon Focus. Аз мисля, че не съм му дигнал... Не, ето е Way of the Bow. Имаме Long Bow. Gains Weapon Focus за bonus feed. Ето го, значи той си има тия неща. Добре. Ще я се прецакам зверски много. Добре, значи Staggering Critical е единия вариант. Той е много добър Critical, този герой, между другото. Прави много често Critical. Blinding Critical. Не, много неща, които правят Blind по-скоро. Staggering Critical обаче звучи много добре. От друга страна, You threat an additional 5 feet snapshot. Hammer the Gap. Да, това е Damage Melee, Range, няма значение. Proved Snapshot. Добре, значи ще направим първо Hammer the Gap за Damage. Защото е лудница ми изглежда. Аз тук и левели дигах и въобще исках и много неща да свършим. То какво стана? Така, тук имаме Cleaving Shot с Bigger They Are, Rapid Shot, така. Destructive Shots, добре. Bigger They Are. Тук имаме много неща, които мога да изберем за Ever Ready Attack of Opportunity. Expose Vulnerability. Това беше всяка трета атака да прави допълнително 1d6 per Mythic Ranks, Divine Damage. Добре. Your mythic powers can negate any magic around you. Activating this ability grants you magic immunity and dispels any spell effects on you. Limitless Rage, Last Stand. Raging Shots. Your enemy proofs. Rupture Strains. Thundering. Това е за меле атака обаче. Unrelenting Assault е за меле атака. Добре, значи то Raging Shots бонусна атака ни дава. Expose. Добре, Key Upton Casting. Така. Mage Armor. Защо си мислех, че има много неща за рейнджите? Сега като гледам нещо не съм много. Expose Vulnerability. Значи да правим повече damage. Или да имаме много атака. Ranging Shots. Ще си вземем Ranging Shots. Защото миналото нещо беше за демидж, тук сега ще дигнем малко атаката. Да видим. Да тестваме Ranging Shots. Така, сега тук исках да видя за меле оръжията на този тип. Плюс 3, плюс 2. Вау, аз трябва да измисля някакви ножки. Яваме с какво разполагаме тук. Така. Плюс 1. Мале. Нещо може би по-надолу. Филтър. Не, обратното. Oldest to newest. Защото така ще прегледаме тези оръжия, които са по-нови. Фалката, брадви, новен кървплейт. Аз нямам ножки, бе. Той как ще прави демидж без ножки? Това е много добър въпрос, нали? Нямам дагери, никакви дагери нямам, никакви. Agile дагер плюс 1. Вау. Плюс 2 колата. Това верно ли е така? Верно ли нямам никакви дагери? Я чакайте малко. Това не е възможно. Чакайте да видим да не съм дал на някой някакъв дагер. И да съм си помислил, че по-натам ще го фалсирам. Така, тук имаме кама. Дагер. Edge of Force. Deals additional 2 Force Damage per Dice Roll. Не е това. Тя има някакво яко кукри, обаче този тип кукрита не носи. Носи дагери. Трябва да му намерим дагери, аз нямам. Това е голям проблем, между другото. Лоджив без дагери няма да прави много демидж. Нямаме дагери за лоджив. Това не съм си го помислил. Алкимист шърт. Тук даже той броня няма. А обаче може да му сложим някакъв. Колко Петър Кейн спел фейлиър? Ще го рискувам. Against Fear. Ще му сложим тази рола. Against Fear. Добре. Така, да видим тогава какви артефакти имаме тук. Той трябва да сложи плюс 3. Има си плюс 3. Ще му сложим един. Може би на лан да го сложим този пръстен, или? Не, все пак ще е на лоджив. Ланс има резисти. О, тука. Опа, иди тука. Штрак. Така. Какво още? Той е с Wisdom. Wisdom нямаме, има Intelligence. Dexterity Constitution. Той си има. Имаме 4 на Dexterity. Дали да не му сложим Dexterity Constitution, а пък ще загубим атака. По-добре да е така. Electricity Resistance. Аз съм му сложил Intelligence. Това е много хубаво, всъщност. Че съм му сложил Intelligence. Добре, значи това е цялата работа. Тук колко в Resistance? Плюс 3. Много набързичко да видим кой му трябва някакъв клоук. Оу! Against Compulsion and Disease. Това пък по-на кефи. Другия ком. Against Wounded Enemies. Какво ще рече това? Eyes under the effect of rage. Чакай да му сложим една двойка, че това нещо не ме кефи. Тук сме с двойка. Тук сме с двойка, обаче имаме имунити на някакви неща. Така, тук си имаме много готин клоук. Тук сме на плюс 2. Добре. Плюс 3. Against compulsion and disease. Тук сме на 3. Тук даже сме на 4. На кой да я сложим тази тройка? Айде на... Аз пък съм сложил тук. Интересно. Искам да е на някой, който му трябва. Ще сложим тук за сега. Тази градинка имаше, да, някакво нещо. Добре. Толкова смисля за сега. От инвентаризацията. Се забавихме, говорихме с всички, значи е време за рест. Рест, обаче не съвсем. Всъщност, трябва да поставим магии на тук, спелбук. Така. Добре. Тук, 2 хейста. Си invisibility. Communal. Така, тия неща са окей. Сложил ли съм резисти? Ще го в мен речи. Не, те другите имат. Няма да ми трябва. Така, масовия Stone Skin. Dismissal тук казаха, че в ада не е добра идея да ползваме, така че, защото демоните са си вкъщи и няма много смисъл да го правим, затова ще си сложа Incon of Cold. И ще сложим един Angelic Aspect. Примерно. Да, това ми звучи добре. Така, вече можем да рестваме. Това какво ни даваше? Едно АЦ. Айде пак ще направим тази храничка. Тук изведнъж стана много дълго.
It's no place for anyone. But I've already had a longer life than many. So if I get killed, it doesn't really matter.
Да, това, което ми беше странно, че Грейборн не е такъв някакъв тъф асасин, ама изведнъж такъв сте много миличък с Ембър някакси, което е изненадващо. Така. Outside. Сега, така. Добре, дано да съм измислил правилно партито. Какви са ни мисиите сега тук? Devastation, Търгона. Pay a surprise visit. Targona believes that she will be able to find the entrance. Commander must meet her in Lushinira near the portal to the Nexus. Интересно. Добре. Така. Сега, какво казваме? Тук оставяме тези двамата, взимаме тези двамата. Сега обаче сме много на предната редица, което в мен много не ми харесва. Тук имаме един негативен левел, който трябва да... О, и тук имаме негативен левел, който трябва да оправим. Интересно. Сега. Battle Bliss. Не бе, нямаше ли... Не, аз не трябва да се телепортирам от тук. Чакай. Ние трябва да дойдем през този портал, защото Таргона е там. Да говорим с нея. Ето тук трябва да дойдем. Така. Leave. Това е партито. Така. Сега ще ни трябва и нова подредба в такъв случай. Ето е Таргона. Добре. Сега така. Окей, ли съм с това разположение? Не съм. Така, мисля тя да отиде всъщност на задната редица. Сосиал да дойде по средата. Така, всъщност е... Да, това е най-добрият ни вариант. А не, той сега пък лоджи. Чакай, така. Нали? Да, нещо такова. Окей. Сега, трябва да премахнем негативен левел от тук и негативен левел от тук. Момент. Един негативен левел се оправи. Сега трябва да оправим още един. Отидоха си 6 Diamond дъста. Добре, че има някакви. Така, вече всички трябва да са окей. Да видим сега търговам в остава с нея. Finally, you're here. This evil city frightens me. I feel like it's watching me with thousands of soulless, bloodthirsty eyes. But enough about me. I want to talk about our mission. I remember what that accursed echo of the sky told us when we met him after the fight with Mustafa. One day you will learn that fire can scorch you too. That's what he said. I think he is responsible for these invisible burns. Targona adjusts her wings slightly, both the real one and the monstrous one given to her by a real one. There's one thing I learned from that witch, a real Gorlish. Any weakness can be turned into a strength. The echo wants us to suffer, but our suffering will be his downfall. I still have my invisible burns. I chose to keep them. I wanted to see if I would feel them in Oceanera, and I did. When I traveled into the city, the burning pain intensified. I believe the echo's lair, or at least a portal to it, must be somewhere nearby. We just have to find it. I don't feel anything. I have not had any new burns. Although the hand of the inheritor healed you in the Nexus, I still bear my invisible burn wounds. Dragona gives you a sad smile, and they will lead us to our enemy. Alright, let's go. Сега трябва да я следвам ли? О, май да, трябва да я следваме. Чакай. Тя се спря. Как се оглежда обаче? Добре, аз мога ли след като му намериме хайдаута да не прибързваме с битката срещу него, защото... О, тук ще има битка. Just look at that, an angel with the wing of the abyss. I want to have her. I want to taste her. They all trade an entire army of souls for this oddity of the flesh.
Can we retreat already?
Market. Така. Мала тук, бе, приятелче. Така. А тя не мене ли ми прави демидж, бе? Браво. Хубава работа. Това сега какво правеше?
You crossed the wrong mongrel. Did you see that? You had your chance.
Това си направо го убиваме, мисля. Изи.
Cover me, all right? Attack!
Така, да му смъкнем атаката на това животинче. Ауч.
Be gone, fiend! Contemplate on your mistakes.
Този още ли е жив, бе?
You
Добре.
won't survive me. Your performance is lacking.
Така, ето за тези критика ли говорех. Чак, къде лети тази, бе? Чакай, че аз се събирам предмети, о! Маля е ужас. Порталто да... Леяр. Ние направо почнахме с дебелите неща, бе. Добре, аз обаче мисля тук да сложим на края на епизода, тъй като ще стане изключително дълъг, вече час и половина. Действаме. Тук дали съм бил при този лут? Мисля, че съм бил обаче. Познато ми е мястото. Не, аз даже не го виждам лута къде е. Всъщност. Ето това беше лут. Даже всъщност е тук долу, той не е горе. Да. Значи всичко е наред. Добре, намерихме портала за неговото скривалище. Много интересно, между другото. Аз мисля, че бях минал от тук и го бях видял този портал. Но той не водеше на никъде преди това нещо. Написал Саламандър. Тия какво правят тук? Тия май не бяха тук по-рано. Добре, както и да е. Ще продължим с Echo of the Sky, очевидно. Само, че в следващия епизод. Благодаря ви, че гледахте. Надявам се да ви е било забавно. Желая всичко най-хубаво и чао!